Look at iced tea. Me, a chef. Me, proper chef. Oh, yeah, let's put it down. Me, a proper chef. Welcome to my channel, Life of a Caribbean Nurse. So today I'm going to be making a little vegetable wrap from scratch for you. So we'll be using in this recipe threaded cabbage. We have a bit of pineapple right here. We have some bell pepper, same thing as sweet pepper. We have some diced carrots, tomato, onion, sweet cabbage, sweet corn, sorry. And we have some Gouda cheese right here. You can use mozzarella cheese if you don't have the Gouda cheese. It's either for me. It depends on the taste that you're looking for. And for the wrap, we'll be using the all-purpose flour to make the wrap. So we're using all-purpose flour for the wrap. So 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Half teaspoon of salt. I don't want too much because we don't call this now. The whole ingredient inside the wrap by itself is going to be seasoned, so you don't want this overly seasoned on you. Alright? And you can either use shortening or you can use like a bit of oil to put in to make your wrap. So I'm going to be using a bit of oil. Alright? So this is vegetable oil. I can use either coconut oil, vegetable oil, or whatever you want. As I say, you can use shortening too. Okay, so coconut oil, vegetable oil, shortening, whatever you choose. So you mix the whole salt in. You're going to put the oil in it too. All right. So this is 1 teaspoon of oil so far. Right. By the look of this, you see it's going to need more because the aim with the oil now, it's like when you're going to the beach and you say you're going to use the sand to make a sand castle. You see the look that sand gets, or the sand has, so it can actually form like houses and stuff like that. That's the whole aim with this also. So you put a bit more in it. Do it same way. What I'm doing with this spoon, you can do it with your hands, you know. So bear that in mind, please. Yeah. All right. So you want the flour to become a bit more formed. So that's the whole purpose of it, right? Cut. To put all your ingredients in now, right? I'm not going to be over this stove waiting for it to cook. So as soon as I put all this in, right, you're going to just cover it down and allow it to simmer for at least a good 15 minutes, or depending on how cooked you want it to be. Sorry, go back a bit, please. And I'm going to be adding also a bit of my sweet corn in it. You put as much sweet corn as you want, you know, because you're doing it according to how you want it. It's yours, right? So, yeah. Alright. So, I hope you're liking how it's looking. I'm turning my stove down. because you don't want it burning. After you do this, it's time to cover, and we're going to go right back to the wrap making cut. All right, so this is how firm you want the flour to look, right? Look, you can actually like make a sandcastle out of it right now. So far, I use 4 teaspoons of oil to get the flour to this state, right? And as I said before, I'm using all-purpose flour. So just like when you're kneading now, like to make dumplings, you're going to do the very same thing. So we have 1 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of salt, sorry. We have 1 cup of flour. We have 4 teaspoons of vegetable oil. And the water that we're going to use to actually do the kneading now is warm water, not hot, just warm. That's important. Guys, you can knead with your hand. I just want to use a spoon to do it. You can knead with your hand because your hand is going to be very necessary to knead with after. But I don't like getting all my fingers in dirty and stuff, or all messy with the flour, I should say. Back in university, we used to call these sterile flour. Because when I touch them, we like them. Guys, if you realize that while making it, your dough got a bit, like you use too much water, just add a bit more flour in it to get it back where you want it. Not too much, right? As I see, I put a bit too much warm water in it a while ago. So it was a bit too much. I had to put like a small amount of flour in it just to ensure that the dough was right. So after you finish making the dough, the next important part to do, right? I try to get up all the extra flour out the pan. After you finish making this dough, the next important part to do is to put the dough down and let it rest for a good 10 minutes. Guys, this is the dough. So what I'm doing now, the dough is supposed to be in like a warm place, not a hot, a warm place. You leave it, as I said before, like for 10 minutes or more. So I'm covering the dough and leaving it for 10 minutes, and then we continue. All right, as you can see, guys, this is the dough. So I made some small rolls, so dough rolls, right? I'm going to take one out now, and please remember to cover your dough so it don't get dried out or whatever, right? This right here is the cornstarch on the clean surface that I told you you're supposed to have, because this is where we're going to actually do the rolling to get it to the wrap state. I do not have like a proper roller, so I'm going to be using this, right? This is just like a water bottle, but the shape is quite fine to use. So y'all can get your rollers and do it the proper way. So I'm putting a bit of the cornstarch on this as to prevent the dough from sticking too much. It will still stick, you know, but that's fine. It won't stick too much, hopefully. So getting this in the perfect shape. It out right here, and then we're going to start rolling. You see me rolling. Oh. See, all right. This is all I need to get the dough to the proper state. All right. So naturally it's going to look shrink back, right? So it's good when you do your dough rolls to get it ready to start your deep frying. So your oil should be prepared by now, right? The oil heated. So you use like a deep pot. So you can use like a frying pot to do the deep frying of your wraps in, right? So you'll see what I'm talking when we reach to that stage. All right. What I'm going to do now, look, because as I realize with all the wrapping and stuff, the dough now has like a deformed looking shape. We don't want that, right? Presentation is important. Alright, so I remember I told that the dough shrinks because based on how it's made, it becomes a bit elastic in the field, so it will shrink just like a rubber. You stretch it, you let it go, it come back. It's the same thing with this dough. All right, shape is still not perfect, but it looks better. Won't you agree? Good. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like after. I did say 15 minutes, but I give it 20 minutes because you know the carrots were a bit the carrots were sliced a bit wait, that's now thick, so I'll give it a bit more time. And see if you ever realize there's no oil at all in the pot, right? Remember now you're making wraps, you don't want the wrap then just big and oily. You see, no oil. It's well steamed but no oil. Remember we said we had a bit of, I'm going to use the pineapples, right? And we're going to put it in the wrap because I don't want them to be overcooked. That's why I never put them in the cabbage and all these things. So I'm going to make some of the wraps with pineapple. So for those that don't want them wrapped with pineapple or other added ingredients, you can put them to the side. And when you're making your wraps, you make your wraps and put them in it according to what you want. Hot with the oil in it now, well hot, so we can start making wraps. Okay, we're going to make our first wrap. By the way, this is egg, right? I whisk it. Now, what I'm going to use the egg to do now is that when you realize the egg, the wrap starts shrinking, and that's what it would. Alright, so look. This is the ingredients for the wrap. Right? Remember, we have the Gouda cheese. Just go and put a bit of Gouda cheese in it. I'm going to put.
I like this cheese.
You like this cheese? It's not bad for you. I'm going to use 2 small pieces of pineapple, and we're going to start wrapping. Look. Wrap here look like it look a bit too small, but let's see. You don't want the wrap to be too thick around it because you want to make sure say the dough is properly cooked when you're eating it, right? So this is the,
you lace it with a little,
lace a bit of whisk egg. So this is basically coming like, what you call it now? Glue. It close it. Right, Anna? See there. Closing all the entrance. So not perfect, but just look on the wrap. Take your time. product. Yeah, wraps finished. And wow, some of them with the pineapple, it tastes delicious. Honest to God, real delicious. Guys, look at iced tea. Me, as chef, this tastes real good. No, come close, come look pan them, Tana. Zoom in pan them. Zoom in pan the good girl them. Them here, it tastes really nice. Alright, my girl, top.